Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my first graders curriculum for the school year of 2023 to 2024. So if you enjoy this type of content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, so by the time you see this video, my 6th grader, my 5th grader, and my 3rd graders curriculum videos will already be up. And then I will have a family group work type video coming up shortly after this video. So if you're interested in that, you can watch for it because it'll be coming pretty quickly. But today we're gonna go over my 1st grader. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep track in my head what grade my kids are in because they're not always on that same level in their math and language arts. So then it confuses me sometimes. So my daughter's gonna be doing math 2, which is why I keep wanting to say she's in 2nd grade, but she's not. But then her language arts is like still in kindergarten. So it's like, it confuses my brain. I can't keep track. Anyways, so age-wise, she would be in 1st grade. But we are doing Simply Good in the Beautiful Math 2. She is finishing up Math 1 right now. So I've mentioned in my previous videos, we are a very math-heavy family. We love learning math, and honestly, she's really struggled with learning her ABCs. She didn't know her ABCs or her numbers last year really very well. And then all of a sudden her numbers took off. She cruised through all the math curriculum books, and reading is still a struggle. Okay, but it is a lot easier to learn math than it is to learn reading. There's so many rules, there's sounds, there's all these different things. You have to try to remember how to put sounds together. It just gets a little confusing for kids. And some of my kids, it came very naturally to, and some of them it has not. And it's taken a lot longer for them to learn how to read. So I just go at their pace. I don't try to make sure they're reading. But you know, if they're in public school, she would be like in remedial reading right now. And which is kind of sad, you know, to have that label on you so young. So I want to make sure she actually enjoys reading, and she really, really wants to read. It's just still a struggle sometimes, but she will get there. And so, even though we're talking about math, but as far as why that relates is math has just been easier for her. Once she started to understand numbers, it's been easier, and most of the math she can do. Some of it's a little harder because she doesn't read or write very well yet. You know, so if there's like spelling numbers out, like 1, in its word form, those things are harder for her because she just doesn't know how to do that. But we work with her, we adapt, because she can go through and just add things like crazy. Her number work is amazing at how young she is. So she's gonna be moving into math 2, and my son, that's just older than her, already did math 2. So we have the like math box that comes with some of the younger grades. And so she's just gonna be using this one. I didn't buy a new one. So she'll use that one and then go through this book for her math curriculum, and she's excited about it. She always is like, I gotta get through this book faster. I'm like, how about we just make sure we learn and understand what we're learning instead of just trying to get to math 2, because we will get there eventually. It's already impressive that you're gonna be doing math 2. So that's the math she will be working on for this next year. And then as far as language arts, this is a little bit of a struggle. Me and my husband have discussed it. We've tried to figure out what would work best for her. Her older sister, who's in 5th grade, also had a really hard time learning to read and to understand like blending sounds and things. And it just took just going very slow. And eventually it took off, and she reads a crazy thick books now. And she loves reading. That's all she does at night when she's in bed. And so, you know, it took time, and now she still loves to read. We didn't push her too much, but we still helped her learn. So it's hard to figure out where the best learning would come when they're struggling so much. And we have used this book a lot with all of our kids, and it's worked pretty well. The lessons are very short, especially at the beginning, which is nice, again, for a struggling child and a parent with a struggling child, because everyone gets frustrated very quickly with trying to figure things out. And so my husband has started going through this with her a little bit. I think we'll try to keep going through the summer. So maybe by fall she will be done with this book. We will see. We've tried a couple times this last year to do the language arts from the Good and the Beautiful for level K. And she's just not ready. This is the newer version, so it also has the booster cards that come with it. But even the first few booster cards in this with blending beginning sounds is extremely, extremely hard for her. Like, she knows her ABCs pretty well, and almost all the sounds she's pretty good about, but it's very hard for her to hear it. If you say it, she can hear it, but she's not very good at hearing it herself, hearing all the sounds of words. So hopefully we'll get back to this. Again, she's gonna be in first grade, but that's not a concern for me that she's gonna be in level K. Again, she'll get caught up when she needs to. Like, she'll get there, and it's not a big deal to me. I know to some people it is, but I just think it's better that she enjoys it. And it's so frustrating for me when she doesn't. I compare it, honestly, when I tell people about it, to potty training because I don't like to potty train a kid before they're ready to potty train. I potty trained 4 so far, and you know, we'll have a 5th and then a 6th one to potty train. But I am one that I usually try at like 2.5 to potty train them. But if they are not getting it and it's frustrating and it's more work for me, I will stop. I'm like, I don't care, we're not doing this right now. And if I usually wait 3 to 6 months longer, they are ready and they just take off with it, and it becomes so much easier. And that's how I feel this is too. You know, if you give it just a little bit of time and try again, it usually starts to work out, and then it's so much less frustrating for everybody. So that's kind of what our plan is. If you have things that you've loved, I know we've done All About Reading, is that what it's called? I sort of like it and I sort of don't. I feel like it's a lot. It's a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes it was overwhelming for my daughter who struggled with reading, so we stopped using it. And my boys did pretty well with it. So anyways, if you have suggestions, let me know. We've looked at a lot of things, we've tried a lot of things, and usually it's just being patient and still working on some letter sounds and things, and then eventually they get it. That's what I found has worked the best, is being patient. So I believe, like I said, this level comes with this booster pack, and I think these books, we have some level, the old level K stuff, so I can't remember which comes with which, but I think it comes with these little books. And so these books go with that as well. So we'll see if we get to that. And then along with that, she's also doing handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful. What level is she doing? 2, maybe? Yeah, so she's on level 2. And I might, because level 3 starts to introduce cursive, so I might have her repeat level 2 next year. We'll see. Her letter formation isn't bad. It's not great either. But again, she likes going through these books and she moves through them pretty fast. And even though she's not very great at reading, she can write pretty well. And so we'll see what we decide to do. I don't have the next one because it's still up for debate what I want to do with her, whether or not we want to move to the next level or not. Okay, and then along with all those things, so with math and reading, like language arts, with her, you know, maybe 30 to 45 minutes is all we spend on her individual work. And so she will also have some sensory bins or some like craft activities. I do better at this sometimes than other times at being prepared, but it really is helpful because then it gives her something she can do. And, you know, she's still learning, but she's not, as I'm trying to help my other kids, it's not, what am I supposed to do, Mom? What and just interrupting us constantly. So it's good for her. It gives her something to do. And then something else I wanted to mention, I might also mention this in our group work. I'm not really sure yet, but I got the science for little hearts and hands a couple years ago, or last year maybe. We haven't done a whole lot with it, but most of our science curriculum is a couple levels, a couple grades above where she is. And so she'll sit and listen, and if there's activities she can do, she'll participate. But I thought it might be fun for her to have something that like me and her can just kind of discuss and do together. And so we'll probably go through this, hopefully like just early fall, especially because if it's, you know, outside stuff, we just came off of like 7 months of winter. And so it's a little bit hard for us to get outside during like basically October or November on. And so I'm hoping to maybe do some summer stuff with her and then also into the fall. So it comes with these stories. These are a whole bunch of stories that go along with the parents guide right here. So it has, you know, just some different things to discuss. And since we'll be planting a garden, this is always fun to go over then as well, a little bit more summery time. So just so she gets a little bit of science that's more towards her age instead of just sitting, she always is like this, bored out of her mind when we're talking about stuff. She's not completely bored out of her mind, but a little bit. So I'm hoping that this maybe will help and at least give her something that's unique and special for her. Okay, so that's my first grader's curriculum for this upcoming school year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.